Alrighty. Welcome back. 9:26, a little bit of change on this 12th day of August, and with Jennifer Adcock. And you are an RN and BSN, and your title is a pretty long one at OSF St. Anthony's. How are we doing this morning?
Very good. How are you?
Doing very well. And really excited to have you in the studio today. We're going to discuss your role as a diabetes educator and just more when it comes to this really important topic. And, you know, Jennifer, it really feels like it's one of those things you can never really talk about enough because it does affect so many people.
It does. It does.
So, you know, take me right to your role as a diabetes educator. What's that all about?
So, as a certified diabetes care and education specialist, which is a mouthful, my primary role is to provide education and support to individuals with diabetes, and then I work closely with those patients to help them understand and manage their condition.
That's really important. So when it comes to that, is it really like discussing like diet and lifestyle habits too, and seeing just really, you know, what the best way that person can individually kind of combat their...
Yeah. So really it's just what that patient needs in particular. Some people have the diet knocked out. They just need help with other parts of...
What are some of the other parts of it? Just because we always talk about diet, but I never really ask about some of the other things that we can do to help combat that.
Yeah, so it's like taking medication, the psychosocial part of that, making sure that you have people in your corner to help you out when you need it.
Really cool. Well, and now, whenever you're working with patients, do you often work with their families too, or their direct loved one, or just to make sure that everyone's on the same page?
Yes, we love whenever you bring your support team with you so that they can hear the same message that you're hearing, and there's no conflict when you get back home.
So that way, you know, because if it was me, I'm just going to be honest, and my grandpa used to do this all the time. He would always sneak snacks, you know, and then my grandma would find him later and go, "Charlie, what are you doing here?"
Absolutely.
You know?
And that's the thing, like we don't want you to have to be policed at home. No one really responds well to being policed. So we can, if you love sweets, we can work that into your daily
that's interesting.
plan.
That's so interesting to me too. Is it just one of those things where you just have to, if as long as you provide that kind of really all-encompassing meal plan, you can still have some of those things?
I mean, I know you're going to hear, cut this out, cut that out. Like soda is not great because it's just so many carbs in such a small can. That's not great. But if you need a little snack cake, if you need just that pick-me-up throughout the day, that is just fine. We can get that worked in.
That's really interesting. Well, and, you know, take me through the different types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. What are the differences?
So type 1 diabetes is going to be your autoimmune disorder.
Okay.
So your own immune system is attacking those cells in your pancreas that make the insulin. So you have to have insulin to live.
Okay. And is type 2 the one, is that an attribute, is that kind of due to just like eating and different lifestyle choices?
That is kind of a common misconception is that, that person ate themselves into diabetes, which is not. I mean, you can eat yourself into obesity, which is a contributing factor. But type 2 diabetes does have a very strong genetic component.
That's really interesting. So is family history really the biggest kind of factor when it comes to that?
It is, and also like race.
Really interesting. And what age do you really start to see a diagnosis of a type 2 diabetes?
Type 2 diabetes is unfortunately being diagnosed in children these days, but 45 is really like a strong indicator of type 2 diabetes could be on the table for you.
When did you start seeing an increase in children being diagnosed with type 2?
As obesity has gotten more common in children.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and now, you know, whenever it comes to type 2 diabetes, what's really important to know whenever it's, you know, going about it day by day, you know, especially if you're a younger child too, that's kind of a more interesting, I think, conversation on how to manage that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, how do we manage it at 45 or 50?
Yeah, just maintaining those healthy habits, start young, you know, and find things that are fun for that child to do. We don't want to say, oh, you have to go run on the treadmill for 20 minutes because you're obese. We want to find games that they can play outside, you know, and making it like a family activity so that it can be fun. And then as you get older, you don't have to take the fun out of it.
Right.
If you like bicycling, any of those things, gardening, anything that's making your body move is going to help.
Well, and now I wanted to ask you too, whenever it comes to type 2, is that something that you need insulin for? Is it just managing your sugar levels and managing what you eat?
So you can eventually need insulin with type 2 diabetes. And usually how it starts is it's a problem with your insulin and the way that your body uses it. So at first, your body can create more insulin to meet the needs that your body has, but eventually your pancreas can't keep up. So losing weight, if you're obese, it can be helpful because then you can have more receptor sites for that insulin. And, but if you get to the point to where you need insulin, that's not a failure of the person. That's just how the disease process can happen.
What happens if someone's not, it goes, without being diagnosed with, type 2 diabetes? Because, how, some people are, especially like me, I'll wait until the last day to go get something checked out just because, it's just the way it goes. Is that something that you really need to have identified as early as you can?
Yes. So if you have those risk factors, then you should be talking to your doctor about that and just being screened, because if you let that go, you can have damage to your microvascular system. And so that is going to affect your eyesight. It's going to affect your nerve endings. And once you get to a certain point, some of those things can't be reversed.
And honestly, that makes sense. And some of these, symptoms are really kind of alarming. Like you said, like blurry vision and having that, the tinging and the pain and the numbness really in the extremities and the hands and the feet. And I could see somebody not thinking about it being type 2 diabetes and thinking it's something completely different because it's, their hands are tingling,
Right.
Now, whenever you're talking about the misconceptions, what do you normally encounter when someone comes in or starts asking their FAQs maybe after they learn that this is something they're going to have to deal with?
So, like I said before, you can't really just eat yourself into diabetes.
Right.
If you have the snack cakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're not going to feel good. But if you don't have that insulin and receptor problem, you're most likely not going to develop the diabetes. Now, you can get the obesity, which then increases your risk. And then also another misconception is that only obese people have type 2 diabetes, which is not true either. Again, obesity is a risk factor, but it's not the sole cause of type 2 diabetes. There's plenty of people that are of normal weight or just have overweight that are type 2 diabetic. And then there's also a lot of people that are obese that are not diabetic.
Wow, that's really interesting. And you know what else I find interesting too is just seeing the new technology that comes to when it comes to monitoring glucose levels and really the alarm notifications and things like that really keep people safe. Take me through those innovations in technology. What do you guys utilize when it comes to that type of device?
Yeah, so CGMs are a wonderful asset to have when you're diabetic. So instead of having to poke your finger and making sure you have all those needles and test strips and all these little things that are so easily lost, it's usually a patch either on your arm or your abdomen, and then it can go straight to your phone, or there's just a small little device that you carry with your person. And it's wonderful because then we can get you connected to the provider's office. And so if you notice some kind of funky pattern with your blood sugars, you can just give us a call and we can pull that right up and look at how your blood sugars have been running. And then also, if you have a person in your family that's elderly or a young person, or if you just like having that security of knowing someone else can look at your blood sugars, that information can be shared with family members and loved ones.
And do you normally see, is this normally for folks with type 1, or do both can people with type 2 diabetes utilize this too?
So insurance coverage is not great
that
for those
makes
things
sense.
if you're type 2 diabetic. they do want to see insulin usage most of the time.
That makes sense. Well, and now whenever it comes to education, what's I guess your most effective component when you're talking to your patients and really trying to educate them on just like we were talking about earlier, their healthy eating choices or lifestyle, what it looks like for them. What are the biggest factors you think when you're talking with them?
Yeah, so the most important thing is that it's individualized for each and every person. Yeah. Because if you say you have to do this, it's not going to fit into their lifestyle. Some people have kids that do 100 sports. Some people just, work 2 and 3 jobs. And so you have to really look into their lifestyle and see what's going to work best for them. Well,
and now, honestly, it seems like, too, like we were talking earlier, having a support system that is not going to, get on you every time. It's good to hold us accountable, but making sure that, we're being supportive,
Absolutely.
Too. Really important. And now, when should somebody who has diabetes reach out, for education? Is it immediately, do you think?
So at diagnosis is wonderful, because then you are equipped with all of the knowledge and all the tools that are really going to help you. Mm-hmm. But also, if you have a change in your diabetes status, so if you went from just taking medications to taking insulin, that's a great time to come and see me. Or if you've never received diabetic education, come and see me.
Well, and now what's that first visit look like?
So we're going to do a thorough assessment of what type of diabetes you have when you were diagnosed, what kind of medications you take, and then what kind of goals you're looking to meet. And then we'll take a thorough look at what your lifestyle is like, what your day-to-day meal plan is like, what your activity level looks like. And then together we'll create goals that are easily achievable for you.
Well, and now during the next couple of sessions, how is it important to really review those goals and really after that, the adaptations that are made along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. So after that initial visit, at the next visit, we'll see what needs to be changed in your goal plan, because sometimes you can say, hey, I can do this every day and it'll be great. And then you go to do it and you're like, actually, that's
the definition of my life. I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those people. I always go, yep, I got this. And maybe next time, and so how important is it too, to not beat ourselves up if it's not working, because to me, it's one of those things you're only going to do as well as you're feeling about it.
Right. And it is okay to not meet that goal, because it can be changed. We can see why that didn't work for you, and we can make adjustments as needed.
Mm-hmm. And now, what strategies do you use to kind of, motivate and also, kind of just, I guess push, your patients in the right direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Just celebrating those small victories and the big ones too. And then, just making sure that they have the support that they need. And if you don't have that big support person group around you, there are online resources through the American Diabetes Association that'll give you that same kind of encouragement.
How long do you work with your client or with your patients, when they start the process?
Yeah, so that initial visit is about an hour long, but then I can see you as many times as you feel you need to be seen.
Interesting. Wow. Well, I just think it's really cool. And now, what is one message you like to leave with, the listeners today about living well with diabetes?
Yeah, it is something that you do not have to do alone. I am grateful to be the help there for you. And, we can make your life easier, so come and see me.
Really cool. Well, this has been really great, Jennifer, and really just really educational, too. And is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we say goodbye for now?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning, and we'll talk again soon.
Sounds great.
9:40, a little bit of change. More daily show right after this on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.